and welcome to Tyre and Rubber Recycling Podcast 73 with me, Ewan Scott. In Podcast 73, I will be interviewing REGOM's Arthur Wagner. Arthur is the CEO of REGOM, and he's going to tell us all about the technology that REGOM has to identify and sort end-of-life tyres. Arthur, can you tell us, for those of us who don't know what REGOM is and REGOM does, can you briefly tell us what REGOM does?
Yeah. So at REGOM, we are an engineering and machinery company. So we developed and we integrate a recognition system for used tires. Those are integrated in sorting lines. We create those lines from A to Z, from the engineering to the assembly and the delivering of the line. And those lines are engineered to produce large volume of used tires. We are talking in millions of used tires in terms of unit per year that can process our line. And we start with the development of the recognition system, a vision camera system able to read all the marking on the flank of the tire, brand, model, dimension, road index, speed index, DOT, and we also measure the wear and the weight of the tire. And we started nearly 10 years ago now, and we are able to process a tire every 3 seconds in our system. This is why we do the machine, but also all the engineering around to be able to process those amount of tire at this speed all day long, because it's quite fast. We are the fastest at the moment, I think, to process, read, and then address thanks to our algorithm and the customer criteria, the tires according to their remaining value, retread, resell, material valorisation, energy, pyrolysis, whatever chemical component they can sort. And REGOM was born 10 years ago in a collection and processing company that collect 50,000 tons per year of used tires, and we are still developing 100% of our system in this company. So it is daily live business and machine for real application with real operator and real used tires. So this is why we're able to read wet tires, snowy tires, whatever kind of tire, and our machineries are very tough. We've got some machine running outside under the rain, the snow, whatever. So, and we also develop all the software to manage the production, to manage the criteria, the productivity of the plant, everything. It was for our own purposes at the beginning, and then we just expand and created REGOM and all the application of engineering and software that we do today.
Okay.
This is what we do.
So the technology you have is primarily about identifying the tires. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you can identify by type, by size, by manufacturer. Do you also incorporate chirography to inspect the condition of the tires?
No, for a simple reason. We link our system to chirography, but we do not integrate the chirography in our system because we have to process a tire every 3 seconds. And a chirography will take in between 30 to 60, 90 seconds according to bit to bit or whatever they can do. So we do not link it directly to this system. It is just an identification system. And then we have, according to the application, human graders in charge of the final grading of the tires. So they are in charge of checking all the physical damage and stuff like that.
Okay, so the tires come through the technology. They're checked by human operatives to see if they are fit for recycling, reuse, retreading. Yeah, and thereafter, if they go for retreading or reuse, it's down to the people selling them on or retreading them to do the chirography work on them. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. And we also have a machine linked directly to chirography because our machine is reading the brand and the model and the dimension, and then we push to the database directly into the database of the chirography that can adapt its program to the tires that is coming in.
I think there are a couple of people have talked about in tyre recycling, the tyre manufacturers wanting their own tyres back. So Continental want Continental, Michelin want Michelin. In the longer term, maybe not tomorrow, but in the longer term, because they know what's in their tyres. Is this an application where you would see REGOM having a benefit
Exactly.
for manufacturers?
We already have this kind of demand from some granulators in Europe who are processing specific batch of tires according to the brand and the model to limit some chemical components for specific application in contact with human skin. So they want to be sure that there are not some chemical component or whatever they are looking at. And so they ask us to sort specific batches with specific brand and model to be certified with their product at the end. So for sure it will be growing in the future, and maybe one day the manufacturer will ask for their own tires, and in this case with our machine it's very easy to sort according to the brand.
Yeah, because you already, I believe, work with Aliapur and Michelin, so that's a step in that direction, I guess.
We are part of Aliapur, not as REGOM, but as TC Environment. I'm in the office of TC Environment at the moment because I'm also general manager of TC Environment. And on the platform where I am, we've got one of our line for sure, but also a shredder, and we work 100% for Aliapur. So we already sort according to their demand, and we bring all the data that they are asking, and it's also the case with our customer using our system in the Netherlands, who are in the very close discussion with the eco-organism there, because our machine is able to monitor very closely the data.
I'm guessing that in the system benefits organizations where you've got a wider control of the market. So perhaps in Italy, where you have Econews, or Spain, where you have Cygnus, and they're managing large volumes of tires, as Aliapur does. But at the moment, it would be a hard sell in the UK or Germany, I guess.
No. The benefit of our machine is not only for the eco-organism, and it's not for the eco-organism. The benefit of our machine, the first benefit, and it's why we created and initiate the project 10 years ago, it was to simplify the human labor, because it's very hard to grade and sort tires according to whatever criteria and due to the volume. So thanks to our system, the grader has in front of him a potential destination according to the criteria. For example, it's a Michelin Primacy 205 55 16 91V, 3.5 millimeters left of rubber, so it can go to customer B1. So the operator, they do not have to retain in their brain 100% of the criteria. So it is the first, for me, decision maker for our customer. We do not replace human, we simplify the work. And thanks to this, we also allow the manager of the plant to create numerous combination for new customer or specific order or specific batch that they can change every minute if they want. Nobody is doing that, but at least every day you can process a specific order according to whatever demand you can have, which is normally impossible with normal human, because nobody can retain hundreds of criteria every day. So this is why, for me, whatever country it is, if you have a sorting need, our system will help you for sure.
I read recently that you were out in the States, and you're looking to grow in the States. How is that going for you?
Pretty well at the moment. So we've got a company registered in the US that help us at the moment due to the potential tariffs and barrier that they want to put in place. And it's like in Europe, it's for us, it's a zone that we have to manage at the zone specifically because the market is different there. So I've decided to open the company to be 100% American and 100% European. We have very good discussion with different actors in the US. The market is totally different compared to Europe. We've got employees full-time there in the US, REGOM employees full-time to provide very high quality of services like we have here. Normally, we should have our first installation before the end of this year. So it's growing after 2 years of development there and discussion. We are now quite well known, I would say, in the US. At least people know that we exist. And so yeah, it's going well for the moment.
I can see in markets. I guess this applies in Europe as much as in North America, where they have labour shortages for difficult to fill positions, because nobody wants to handle tyres all day. And if you can make that job easier, if you can make it quicker and more efficient, then I guess there's going to be a market for the equipment.
Exactly. And once again, we do not replace human because it's not our goal. We help them to do what they have to do. And thanks to that, we, for sure, limit the number of persons that are needed on the platform. But we still need person, and those people have a way better job because they've got tire one by one into a shelter with AC, music, whatever they have to. And they process tire one by one all day long with some indication on the screen. And our other job, and now it's our, I would say, main job, it is the global engineering. Thanks to our process of unloading, debulking, infeeding of the system, and then automatic distribution, we do not load and unload tires or shred all day long. It is a linear, complete system. We've got engineer in REGOM, 100% dedicated to used tire industry. I will show you in the video, so you will see it. It's for real, every day. You see the platform? So here we process tire for real. So everything is tested here. And it is the same thing for our IA system, PLC, software, mechanic. I have all the engineer inside REGOM, and we do only used tires. So it's a solution, 100% dedicated for used tires. And as we develop everything, it's very easy for us to adapt and connect to the actual system of the customer. I think it's one of our strengths because we do the job every day and we develop everything in our own, so we know how it works.
Yeah, so you've come from a tyre recycling background. You understand what the industry is about. You understand what is needed, and you're talking to the tyre manufacturers as well as the agencies, so you know exactly what is required, and you can be adaptive. So if your clients tomorrow want something different, you can change things.
Yeah, it is the idea. As we do everything in-house, we can adapt it very quickly. And because we are part of Aliapur, so we also know how to discuss with eco-organism. We know what they are waiting for, and especially Aliapur, because it is one of the strongest eco-organism in the world in terms of control and everything, which is, in my opinion, very interesting for us as French person, but it's another story. And the manufacturer, we are also part of some research and development program, such as CIRPAS2, who try to demonstrate the usage of the RFID in the light vehicle tires. And we are developing at the moment the antennas and the connection to the GDSO, the Global Data Standard Organization. So we are in discussion with those manufacturers, those big boys, I would say. So I don't know what exactly they have in mind. However, we know that they are clearly interested by having some data on their tires to be compliant with digital passport product in Europe by 2028, and also reintroducing some of their tires, used one, in the new one, thanks to pyrolysis or other chemical process. So for sure, we are a brick, a small one, but we are a brick of a potential future. And thanks to our discussion and what we do, we develop, I think, effective and efficient system for the used tire industry.
Yeah, I think you touched again on the new tire manufacturers, and I think there's been hints from some manufacturers that they want their own tires back, and if your process speeds up the logistics of getting the tires to the right people, that has to be the future. I know that Fredrik Ardefors in Sweden is keen to be prepared for that and channel tires to the right people when the time comes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you guys are going to be part of this new recycling technology.
We hope so. we are already, because we've got no more than 12 complete line running in Europe. Some of our customers are expanding their line, so that means that it works because they reorder stuff from us. But for sure, the future, and it's like in every garbage industry, we'll have to identify clearly every pieces of tire, whatever, to create value out of it. If you look at metal, plastic, all the other kind of recycling industry, they are identifying every day thousands of tons of products just to make better benefits out of it, I would say. It's what we do with tires.
I think the idea of using the technology to get the optimum valorization from the tire is a very important point. You were at the tire forum in the UK last year, and we have a huge issue with tires just being put in bales and exported, and that's not the best valorization. Somewhere along the line, the tires should be valorized for retreading, recycling, or reuse, and then for export. And I could see some of the bigger players being interested, but at the moment for the UK, I think things are a bit precarious.
Yeah, it's always the same thing. When the change is coming, you have some reluctancy, and then it's moving a little bit. And for me, the change will come from the manufacturers themselves, thanks to the RFID and the tracking that we are placing with our reading and whatever data analysis system, because then they will have to address at the best valorization outflows each tires to be able to monitor the CO2 impact for each tire and each outflow and to be able to justify to EU or whoever that they are valorizing their material at maximum. And thanks to data management, data tracking, RFID that they are creating themselves, it will grow and move. It will take time, for sure, but it will happen.
Yeah, it's bound to happen. There are some interesting developments coming on this sort of agglomerated recycling that is done now. The Aliapur members are perhaps recycling tyres that aren't theirs, and I don't think they want that to happen in the long term.
Yeah,
they want to account for their own waste. Put it that way.
for sure. However, we are talking about millions of units every year, so it will take time to track them. And even if they are now producing some tires with RFID, we are collecting some tires in between 5 and 7 years old in average in France. So the one that they are producing now, we are going to collect them in 5 to 7 years. So at least it will last a little bit of time, but then when it will be 100% data trackable, traceable, it works.
Yeah.
But before our system, because we created our system 10 years ago, so before our system already works for the daily business and the simplifying of the operation and all that kind of stuff that we do on our platform.
I'd like to thank Arthur for his open discussion with us, and it was interesting to know that the development of REGOM technology doesn't just stop with the identification of tyres, that we will be seeing it incorporated with RFID technology as that comes in online, and the development of REGOM in the USA is, of course, big news. That's a big market, a very different market from the European market. So we wish REGOM well, and hopefully we can speak to Arthur Wagner again a few months down the line when he's got some more news to tell us. So thank you for watching podcast 73, and we'll see you again shortly for podcast 74. Take care. Mind how you go.